So the question was about the space that is created after we finish the 4 rak'ah of Taraweeh in the back, in the court, and then the Musalla will have many people who stay praying in the back. And the question was, shouldn't they come forward? And the answer is they should. They should, because the Prophet ﷺ ordered the Sahaba to fill the first rows first, then the one that follows and the one that follows. Okay. So the question is, there are so many of us Muslims who try to copy the culture lifestyle, part of which is, using the left hand for things that the Prophet says, tayamanu. Tayamanu means use your right hand or go in the right way and or give good stuff to be done by your right hand. So he's saying that some people put their watches on the left hand, rings in the left hand, and the Prophet ﷺ used to put his ring in the right hand, and so on and so forth. So the question is, do we get reward for reviving the sunnah of the Prophet and using our right hand? The answer is definitely yes. 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 The question is, a friend of his asked him at work, why do Muslims sacrifice a lamb or goat in the Eid and distribute this? Because this is a sunnah from Prophet Ibrahim. Prophet Ibrahim is the one that Allah made this a sunnah from his time forward. Okay? So this is what's called the sacrifice. And it is done in Eid al-Adha, the feast of sacrifice, which comes on the days of Hajj. Okay? You pray the Eid, the first day of Eid, in this feast of sacrifice, and then you go slaughter whatever sacrifice you prepared, and you eat third of it, you and your guests, and a third will go for the neighbors or relatives, and the third and friends, and then the other third will go for the poor. Okay? So the question is, when the bank gives me interest and I give it away for charity, and this happens back home, when I go back, do I need to calculate the exact interest? Because I normally would pay more than the interest for the charity. Well, the reason you need to calculate and make sure is to get rid of this money and not leave a penny mixed with your money. So, yes. Yeah, the question is, somebody prayed at Al-Hijrah maybe yesterday, and after he finished the second prayer, that was his only Friday prayer, he finished and he discovered there is a janazah after the third prayer. So he stayed. The question the brother is raising is, could he stay and wait for the third prayer to pray the janazah and not join the third prayer itself? The answer is yes, because he has prayed Friday. Yeah.
He joined the third prayer also.
He prayed the third prayer?
Third prayer also.
Yeah.
Is this correct or incorrect?
It will be counted as nafila. Allah doesn't confuse the records. Don't worry about this. Yes. The question is, why do today's Christians call Jesus God or Son of God when his contemporary followers, the disciples, they called Allah, when they spoke to Isa, they said, Rabbuk, your Lord. Because that's what they believed. They believed that Isa is a prophet and Allah is his Lord, because when they asked him, what is the most important of the commandments? He said, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God. So he didn't say the Lord your God, he said the Lord our. So he is acknowledging that Allah is his own Lord. Okay? So they believed then that Isa is only a prophet and a human being. Later on, the interpolations entered into the writing of the Gospels to deify Isa alayhi salam. The Prophet, peace be upon him, told us, do not deify me by way of commendation as the Christians have done with Isa ibn Maryam. Don't make me God as the Christians made Isa God, which means wrongfully. So if you ask why did they believe or why do they believe that Isa is God? Well, one of the major reasons you will find in the writing of the Gospels is the Gospels themselves tell us that Isa never spoke except in parables. Parables mean ways of similes, similitudes, examples, metaphor, allegorical statements. Why didn't Isa speak in plain language of his time? Because he left a lot for his followers to understand, for fear of his enemies to discover that he is teaching them something that is wrong, or to use it to claim that he is not a prophet. So he was talking almost always in parables. Very few statements are recorded as plain statements from Isa. Luqman is a disputed character. Some they call him a prophet, some they call him that he is a righteous person. But the opinion that he was a prophet, in my study, is stronger, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to him and guided him, and he guided his children to follow, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down revelation to guide his children to be good to their parents, as his father, the father of Luqman, guided his son to follow Allah and submit to Allah and surrender to Allah. Allah told the children to surrender and obey their parents in return. So whatever opinion people have, it doesn't make any difference for us, whether he is a righteous person or not. About the righteous man, that the learned man that that Musa was instructed to follow in Surah Al-Kahf, the name Al-Khidr is not itself authenticated as a reference. So the identity and the name do not matter much. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses a person by description, it means his description suffices. So we don't need to call him Al-Khidr or not Khidr or fight over this. He was a righteous man that Allah has taught. That's it. Yes. Would it be considered riba? Ghiba. When you talk about politicians? So where do we vent our ghiba about them? No, public people, if you criticize them in public, it's okay. If you criticize their practice in private, it's okay, because they are subject to people's evaluation. But you do not dig what is not part of their work or what is not part of their required qualities. Like a politician or a leader is supposed to be honest, right? So if he is dishonest, if he lies, and his lie is private, don't go spread it in public, because it discredits his leadership, and that could create fitna. But if he lies and lies and lies until he becomes a president, then what can people do? They have to talk about it. Yes. As-Samiri is a character that was vying to become something to replace Musa, the original. He was a Samiri, which means from As-Samira. It's a place in Palestine. And when the children of Israel crossed the Red Sea, he is the one who responded to their request. When they crossed with Musa, they found a community worshipping an idol. Okay? And they asked Musa, make us an idol like this. They didn't call it idol, but ilahan. Okay? Make us a god like them. And when Moses left to meet, to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at Mount Sinai, this Samiri collected the gold from the children of Israel, telling them, this is what is corrupting your life. He played the righteous person. And then they collected the gold, he melted it, and he formatted it into the shape of a calf. And he made this calf kneel and stand with a voice. So he was very advanced for his time. It's kind of like a toy in gold. But the invention was, قال هذا إلهكم وإله موسى. Instead of saying, هذا إلهكم, this is the gold that you worship, but Musa has another ilah, he made the two one. This is your God and the God of Moses. And the rest of the story is known. Moses came back, destroyed all of this, and he held him in contempt, and he prayed against him. Yes. Because you are not the governor, alhamdulillah. The question is, lots of jinn are chained in Ramadan, but human jinns are still out there. And I said, alhamdulillah, because you are not the governor. Donating from the 401k to the masajid? Yes, you can donate. Yes, you can donate. It's my time is 4 minutes behind. So I'm sorry, we'll take it tomorrow. Inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.